Hello there. Today, I will be talking about mantras, seed thoughts, and affirmations. We will tackle issues that one may find confusing in the meditation practice, one short video at a time. The first 5 videos discuss the basic esoteric concepts behind the practice of esoteric meditation. You may want to view them if ever you missed watching them. We also apologize for using a TTS or digital voice. It is more efficient, since it saves us a lot of recording time. And esoterically speaking, we believe it is a step towards decentralization. That is, the message is distanced from the personality of the messenger. In the Aquarian age, our collaboration is premised on working for ideas and ideals that we all share, and not on the formation of cults based on personalities. We are done with that in the age of Pisces. We often hear of mantras when it comes to meditation. What really is a mantra? A mantra or mantram is a word, phrase, or a sentence that is chanted and repeated over and over again. It is usually in Sanskrit, or from some ancient language. It can also be in English or in the common language. Mantra is usually attributed as a word of power, or with some divine, or sacred, or religious qualities that affect consciousness and behavior. Mantras can be used as a prayer, as an object of meditation, or as a devotion, or as a standalone tool to raise power for various purposes, such as healing, or magical operation, or for self-efficacy, or behavioral change. We will discuss mantra as an object of meditation. As used in meditation, the most popular is the use of Sanskrit words. This is usually used as a chant, or as an object of meditation, that is repeated over and over again. The practice is called japa, kirtan, simran, or simply, mantra meditation. Other religious traditions use a mantra in the common language, such as the Catholic Rosary, the Jesus chant, or the Atlantean sacred chord meditation. According to Swami Sivananda and Swami Vishnudevananda, Sanskrit mantras are of 3 types. 1. Bija mantras, which is the use of seed or universal sounds. It is always in one syllable. 2. Saguna mantras, which is an invocation of a specific deity. It is in multi-syllables or words. 3. Nirguna mantras, which is abstract identification with the Absolute. It is also in multi-syllables or words. The best example of a bija mantra is the Om, which is considered as a sacred word of power by many spiritual traditions. Some of them are Lam, Vam, Ham, Hu, etc., which vibrate specific chakras into action. Sometimes they combine these syllables, such as Ra Ma, to achieve certain alchemical effects. The Rosicrucians have the lost word. The Kabbalists have their sacred vowels. Bija mantras don't have any specific meaning or thought contents, except for the vibrational quality of the sound of the syllables. Let us listen to a sample Om chant. The best example of a Saguna mantra is the Gayatri mantra, or invocation to the sun. The Sanskrit may sound something like this: Om, Bur, Bhuva, Svah, Tat, Savitur, Varenyam, Bhargo, Devasya, Dhimahi, Dio, Yona, Prachodayat. Another example of Saguna mantra to invoke Krishna consciousness is Hari Krishna 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 Hari Hari. Hari Rama 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 Hari Hari. Nirguna mantras is an identification with an abstract truth, or abstract identification with the Absolute. The best example is the Suham mantram. In English, this means, I am that I am. Equally, a Nirguna mantra that is popular among Buddhist groups is the Chenrezig, or the Avalokitesvara mantra of compassion, Om. Ma-ni, Padme, Hum. This is often literally translated into English as, salutations to the jewel in the lotus, which pertains to the egoic lotus in esoteric literature. Now that we know the 3 types of mantras, how do they actually work in meditation practice? We can mention 3 ways. 1. It uses the mechanical repetition to induce an altered state of consciousness to descend into the alpha or theta levels of the mind. 2. It uses the vibrational efficacy or power of the mantra to raise consciousness. 3. It uses the meaning or thought content of the mantra as a seed thought. We go to the first one. The mechanical repetition of any word induces a hypnotic state. Many modern, scientific, schools of meditation oversimplifies mantras as simply any monotonous sound to focus one's attention, and thereby induce the hypnotic state, which is often called the alpha state of the mind. This may be effective in inducing the relaxation response to reduce stress and anxiety, or in helping patients with sleep disorder get some sleep. But this is not really the mantra that raises consciousness or is used in formal meditation practice. Here is an example. Listen to the monotonous sound of a ticking clock or a sound of running train on a railroad. If you continue to listen to these monotonous sounds, you will find yourself sleepy. This is how hypnotists put you to sleep. In the same way, mantras can be created for this purpose with no actual spiritual or energetic value. They make self-created mantras to achieve this goal, like for example, Kola, 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 or Ramen, 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 Ramen. This is making me hungry. You can even make one, like dog poop, dog poop, dog poop, dog poop, dog poop. You get the idea how nasty can this get. Esoteric teachers also warn us of the danger of going down into the hypnotic state, or negative mental state, because the consciousness will be open to unwanted astral influences. In psychology, they also warn of post-hypnotic suggestions. These mantras don't have inherent powers to protect the users. We now go to the most common usage of mantras. As a word of power. Mantras acquired their power due to the universal nature of sounds, such as in bija mantras, to affect and cause vibration in matter and energy, and thus affect consciousness. When sounded, they vibrate the chakras in a certain way. This is mostly used in Kundalini yoga. There are also mantras that were created or connected to specific deities, devas or angels, or spiritual masters. They are called Saguna mantras. They are similar to guru mantras. By using these mantras, we invoke the energies or vibrational frequencies of those higher beings. These are usually the ones used for incantations, for healing, for magical work, for raising the consciousness to that of the guru, among many other things. Even the Catholic Church uses a mantra in Latin to consecrate the bread and wine into the body and blood of their deity during the Eucharistic ritual. We mentioned about overstimulation. What is it? And why is it a dangerous thing? Overstimulation is the overloading of one's energy bodies and chakras with the power generated by the mantras. It can short-circuit our nervous system if used improperly. In the practice of esoteric meditation, many schools discourage the use of powerful mantras as an object of meditation that is repeated continuously, unless you are under the direct guidance of an initiated spiritual master, or an ascended master. Instead, they use powerful mantras strategically, and sparingly only in some parts of the meditation form. They don't meditate on it continuously for hours. Many esoteric teachers, including Madame Blavatsky, advised us to use these things with care. She gave a caution that no one should attempt to use a mantra which is too high for him. She said that if the reciting even of the sacred word in any particular way should produce headache, or a feeling of nausea, or faintness, it should be stopped at once. In using the word, we are invoking great forces, and if we are not yet quite up to their level, they may not be harmonious, and the result may not good. The Tibetan master also mentioned several dangers of overstimulation that can negatively impact our physical and psychological health. Some of the possible ill effects are: 1. Overstimulation of the nervous system that can take the form of sleeplessness, excitability, or strained energy, and restless that does not permit relaxation. It also makes one very irritable. 2. Overvivification of the solar plexus, leading to heightened emotions of anger, bloated sense of self-worth, and hypersensitivity leading to paranoia. 3. Overstimulation of the sex chakras. Another danger of overstimulation is called Kundalini syndrome. It results from the sudden purgation of the chakras which force it to surface impurities, which may include pent-up emotions and unripe karmic debts. Nirguna Mantras, which contained abstract attributes of the Absolute, are more ideal to use when meditating on the meaning or thought behind the mantra. Taimni, author of The Science of Yoga, said that merely repeating a mantra a few times won't give one the optimum results to raise one's consciousness. It is the intense meditation on the significance of the mantra that is useful for one's spiritual advancement. If we repeat it mechanically, we are just hypnotizing ourselves to put ourselves into sleep. We will now discuss seed thoughts. Seed thought is a construct in Western esoteric meditation practice that was derived from the use of Sanskrit mantras. It can be a word, phrase, or a sentence that is in the common language, and not in Sanskrit, or any ancient language. It can also be a translation from Sanskrit, or a quote from sacred books written in the common language, such as the Christian Bible. It is used as an object of meditation, but not repeated continuously like a mantra. The thought acts as a seed that is the object of focused thinking to penetrate its deeper meaning, and to arrive at the pure idea or the soul behind the words. It can also grow in meaning during the meditation, and consequently, attracts other similar powerful thought forms at the archetypal, or causal levels. The content of the seed thought should have a spiritual, or lofty quality, to uplift the consciousness. Or it should be as abstract as possible to stimulate, or put to use the higher abstract mind. The higher mind is part of the spiritual triad of the higher self. So now, how is a mantra different from a seed thought? Let us put it this way. If I'm a native speaker of Sanskrit, or Hindi, or any language from which a mantra was written, then both are one and the same. The only difference is its usage. It can be used as a mantra for continuous repetition, or as a seed thought in order to meditate on its deeper meaning. But it becomes problematic when the one who is meditating on it is not a speaker of that language. For example, English speakers may have a hard time internalizing the meaning of a Sanskrit mantra, especially if it is composed of multiple words, phrases, or sentences. Please read. Here are some examples of seed thoughts in English. Seed thoughts as used in esoteric meditation practice. Since the use of seed thoughts in esoteric meditation is patterned after the Western way of using a form or structure, then it takes the form similar to a ritual or ceremony. A rough sketch of the similarity of a ritual and an esoteric meditation practice are as follows. 1. Both begins with an introduction part. A protective ritual. Declaration of purpose. Connecting to group. Centering. Alignment. Raising of power. 2. A main part. Meditation on the seed thought. Contemplation, which is at one meant. Evocation. Distribution. 3. And a closing part, which is thanksgiving and grounding. We will now listen to some examples of mantras and seed thoughts. Here is the first one called the Green Tara Mantra, which is a very old mantra in Sanskrit, which was chanted by His Holiness, the Dalai Lama of Tibet.
Om Tare Tudare Turi Swaha. Om Tare Tudare Turi Swaha. Om Tare Tudare Turi Swaha.
What can you observe when you repeat it? Can you meditate on its deeper meaning? It will definitely raise the vibration of your auras, protect one from fears and glamours, and attune oneself to one of the emanations of the deity. It can also be helpful in healing. But it will be very challenging to meditate on its meaning and vibrate the mental substance into creative thought-building activity, unless one is a native speaker of Sanskrit or Tibetan. Listen to another one in Latin. This phrase is commonly used in Gregorian chants in the Roman Catholic Church. What can you observe when you repeat it? Can you meditate on its deeper meaning? While the Latin chant gives one relaxation and calmness, it will be very difficult to form thoughts, and bring the higher mental body into activity when listening to it in Latin. The English version, though not a direct translation, will evoke more thoughts relating to its meaning. The mental body develops or swings into activity if it is being used to generate thoughts. Its esoteric attribute is activity or creative intelligence. The mind is about the creation of forms. Now, listen to an English chant with a similar meaning. Are you getting the point?
For the sake of His sorrowful passion, have mercy on us and on the whole world.
Here is another example, from the last stanza of the great Invocation Mantram, in French.
Que lumière, amour et puissance restaurent le plan sur la terre.
What can you observe when you repeat it? Can you meditate on its deeper meaning? Unless your first or second language is French. Now listen to its English translation.
Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
How do we use seed thoughts, then? Can we use random seed thoughts from books or inspirational sources? One can select random seed thoughts for use in meditation from holy books. Or from quotations from spiritual teachers and saints. Or abstract ideas from inspirational people, or abstract spiritual virtues, such as light, love, beauty, joy, harmony, peace, etc. Many esoteric schools use programmed sequence of seed thoughts to align with the stages of their spiritual training, or their own spiritual system or framework. Some follow the sequence of the tarot keys, or the Sephirot of the Tree of Life. Aside thoughts on one's own spiritual nature, the Tibetan master, in the book, Letters on Occult Meditation, suggested a particular sequence. He said that the true scientific meditation provides graded forms whereby the consciousness is raised, and the mind expanded until it embraces the greater whole. Read it here. Now, what are affirmations or decrees? An affirmation is a word, phrase, or a sentence that is recited authoritatively to affirm identification with a spiritual reality, or evoke a spiritual reality as if the person has the power to make it happen. While a decree is similar, but the goal of the command is to evoke the spiritual reality into our three-dimensional world, and manifest a desired objective into the material world through the power of the will. If the will is not active, then the entire affirmation is an exercise in futility, because the words are powerless. But worse, if it is being decreed from the astral or emotional plane. The affirmer becomes a black magician. The issue here is the nature of the will used. Spiritual will versus personality will. If it is personality will, then it is subject to Maya, glamour, and illusion. If it is the spiritual will that is active, then the one affirming is a white magician. According to the Tibetan master, a person only becomes a white magician when he received the third great initiation and becomes soul-realized. The person is no longer a personality but a soul. The personality serves the purpose of the soul and the higher self. How are affirmations used in esoteric meditation practice? An affirmation that is used at the introductory part of a meditation session can be aptly called an invocation, or spiritual appeal, or a supplicatory prayer. It can also be treated as an affirmation, depending on the advancement of a meditator in using spiritual will, in an as-if technique. As-if is the word. An affirmation given at the ending part of a meditation can be rightfully called an affirmation because it is assumed that the meditator has contacted and has aligned with his higher nature. Therefore, a person's affirmation, or decree has power and is coming from a personality aligned with the soul. Read here some examples of affirmation commonly used in meditation. The Great Invocation Mantram. It is an ancient mantram from an ancient language older than Sanskrit. It was translated into English for the first time, and released into the world by the Tibetan master and Alice Bailey in 1945. As an ancient mantram, reciting it standalone, is a power word just like any other Sanskrit mantram. It retained its power because the present form was uttered by a great being whom we call the world teacher. Christians call them the Christ. The Great Invocation can be used in three ways. Being in English, in its present form, it can be used as a seed thought and object of meditation to extract its deeper meaning. It can also be used as an invocation and a power mantra to begin a meditation session to attune the esoteric bodies and chakras to higher energies. And it can also be used as an affirmation or decree to end the meditation to evoke light, love and power on earth and distribute the consciousness worldwide. You can read the Great Invocation here. This ends our short video. We will discuss more in the future. Thank you very much for participating in our group study.